So apparently, according to this guy, the Boston Celtics are about to make a massive trade. I'd be all for that. Let's check it out. I know this guy doesn't know, but it's good to speak it into existence.
Well, I mean, you would have to assume that after Danny Ainge's reportedly saying that this team's not good enough to be.
It's true. Danny did say that. I feel like he's gonna make a big move.
Yeah, I mean, they don't quite look like one. They're currently sitting as the 5 seed in the East. I feel like they did fall down.
I could use a big move here, too. I think I would like that. I would like to get a guy like Vucevic, Drummond.
Which can be accredited to injuries.
I'm even thinking about Westbrook. You know, Beal,
excuse.
Levine.
Everyone else in the league.
These guys all got to be on our minds at least.
The Boston Celtics have not handled it well, and I mean,
Blake Griffin, we got to get off the buyout too. He's still got it, I think. Not necessarily that athleticism, but he can still play a good game.
Look at those weaknesses. It's 28th in assists at 22.1 a game, and I'm also seeing 13th in defensive rating. Feels like that should be a bit higher for a team that's supposed to be known as this brilliant defensive team. Brad Stevens supposed to be this amazing defensive.
Brad Stevens is overrated.
Except they're, looking at 13th in defensive rating. Last season they were 4th. Season before they were 7th. Season before that they were 1st in defensive rating. You would like to see that go, quite a bit up.
Let's get to the trades.
The primary way of doing that would probably be. Sorry, it's totally cut off. But Danny Ainge says that this current Celtics team right now is not good enough to win a championship.
Yeah, so make a trade. Make a trade, Danny.
So yeah.
He's gonna say that and then not do anything. I guarantee you. That's what Danny does.
So hopefully he knows what's going
Overrated
on here,
GM.
because he's the guy who's running the show.
Yeah, I know.
Like the Celtics are gonna be
he's so dumb, Danny. Yeah, he got us Tatum. Yeah, he got us Brown. He's a good GM. I'll give him that, but he can't make the big moves when he has to.
There's probably 2.
He's been about the future for way too long, and the future is right now. So ever since Kyrie, he's been scared to make a move.
And the Washington Wizards for Lowry or Beal. So
I'd take Lowry too, and Beal.
I mean, there's 2 teams I think they can try to convince, which are the Bucks and the Pacers, who have Drew Holiday and Brogdon, respectively, that I think are possibilities, but they're very much.
But don't trade Kemba for Drew or Malcolm Brogdon.
So
Kemba's better than those guys. I don't care.
Taking a look at how to use this exception and pick up.
It's true, we do have that exception
for right now and possibly for the future. And it's trades. You're probably going to disagree with me on the value of players. Actually, I guarantee you will disagree with my valuing of players.
Let's see the trades.
Don't be too harsh. It's kind of just a conceptualized thing. This is how you want to get a trade done. This is who you want to trade for. So that's what I'm just going to throw out there. And we'll start with the first one. I think this one's.
All right, let's check this one out. Okay, so DeMar DeRozan, phenomenal player still. I don't think he's lost much of what he had in Toronto. This guy's probably going to talk a little more about the trade. I agree with him on this, honestly. Time Lord would be a tough loss, though. So would Naismith. Javonte Green hasn't really lived up to anything. I think Naismith could live up to stuff. He's been playing really hard lately. But I think if we want to win a championship right now, we got to go for a guy like DeMar. And apparently we can afford this too, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, imagine that starting lineup. He plays... He's a small forward, right? Not a power forward. Did I say power forward? I thought he was a shooting guard or small forward. Anyway, we could have a starting lineup of Kemba, Jalen, DeMar, Jason Tatum, Tice. I'd take that, honestly. I mean, and I think the Spurs are going to want to get rid of this guy. And I think both teams, this is a really good trade for them. The Spurs might want a pick thrown in there, and I'm willing to do that. Naismith and Time Lord could be great players in the future, but it's about now, honestly. See what this guy has to say about it.
Somewhat likely, if the Spurs are willing to trade away DeMar DeRozan.
They should be. Not going to win with him.
For Probably Robert Williams and Aaron Nesmith is going to be the package.
Naismith.
Because I feel like the Spurs, they could use an extra big with LaMarcus Aldridge expiring. And Aaron
They got to get rid of
Nesmith
LaMarcus,
was
too.
Reportedly a guy they targeted in this draft class. So although he hasn't played particularly well this season, they'd be willing to pick him up. Javonte Green.
Yeah, Naismith has been getting a little better, though.
So I'd assume he would be good in the Spurs system. And the Celtics pick up a guy who can play defense and play make. That combination is pretty rare. Actually, I don't think there's
Yeah, I
anyone
mean, I'd be all
else
for that. Not
great
necessarily my number
who
one
has that
choice,
same
but
combination
if
of
that's what it came down to, getting
great
DeMar is
defender
perfect.
and a pretty great
Especially when we don't have to give up a guy like
Who's
Kemba. We
also
could have Kemba and DeMar coexist
and
with
DeMar
Jason
DeRozan.
Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Although
That's a
I know
better
you
that's a
probably-
better roster than
Celtics
we've
fans
ever
probably
had.
want a
Maybe
big, but how realistic
2019
is
had a lot
for
of
the Celtics
talent
to
too.
trade for a big? I don't think it's very realistic.
Why?
But yeah,
They need a big
that's
the
gonna be my
most.
trade right here.
They need a
This
guy
is
like
gonna be the
Drummond
big
and
one.
Vucevic.
I think this one makes most sense.
Take
Spurs
Jared
get
Allen
off
too.
DeMar DeRozan. They get a few good players as a first-round pick right there. There's a guy who's been pretty solid in his career so far. Celtics get a guy who they can possibly re-sign. Probably not likely.
Oh, he's a
but
free agent this
you get a
summer.
guy
You know what?
can
Who
plug in
cares? We
right
can
now, and if
we
it
can
works,
re-sign him.
you can
He's a
probably
loyal
sign him for
guy.
a lot less money next
And even
season.
if we don't, we increase our
You're
chances to
going
win
Lonzo Ball.
significantly.
I don't love this trade. I don't think Lonzo Ball's that great of a fit, but
It doesn't really make sense. Like I think Lonzo is a good player. I think that trade's good for some teams, but we already have a point guard in Kemba.
So that's probably
That doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't think the Pelicans would want to give up Lonzo for just that.
He's putting up some great
Two guys that have
numbers recently,
underperformed.
really knocking down threes. He's a good defender. He has some issues playmaking in the half court, but on the break, he's one of the best in the league, if not the best.
I mean, maybe
it's up there
we
with LeBron.
could think about it as
And
like a. But I don't want
so
that to be the
you
only
get
trade we
Carson
make.
Edwards, Romeo Langford, maybe a little bit more.
You know,
Those are guys that you don't
Alonzo would be good for the
particularly
team.
need.
Coming off
Celtics
the
pick up
bench,
a
of
much
course.
better defender, a guy who can also potentially be a playmaker.
Or if we traded
This seems
Kemba for
the
like
number two
Vucevic, then
trade
yeah, this
if
trade would be
DeRozan
good.
trade doesn't end up happening.
I like that.
Then there's
George Hill's been playing pretty good,
possibly
but
Tristan
no,
Thompson.
not for Tristan
I
because
know
Tristan's
that
a good center. He's
you
an
know,
underrated center too.
Celtics
Everyone's been hating
playing
on him.
Tristan Thompson quite a bit. I think you'd rather play Robert
George Hill's
Williams
very good. I
because
just don't think
injuries
he
and
fits
he's
as well as
most
Tristan does.
consistent
We need
players,
Tristan, bro.
But
Unless we're getting another
guy
big,
like
of
George
course.
Hill, although you do have good players, George Hill is a knockdown three-point shooter and a great defender. If you're trying to win a championship, this is a guy you want to pick up.
Yeah,
And
remember
it's
his
not like we're taking a
legendary
big
free
cap
throw in the finals a few
And
years ago?
you're picking up a guy who's a much more valuable player than George Hill. I mean, it does depend on the scenario, but Celtics, I don't think they have a
Don't
big
do
need
Tristan
for
like that
Tristan
either.
Thompson.
Sending him to OKC after he
Even though
chose the
has played
Celtics.
quite a lot of
That's just a
minutes,
pointless
I
trade,
feel
in
like
my
there's
opinion.
Solutions out there if
Get to
you
the
want to
next
make a
one.
trade like this happen. You did right there.
Okay, now we're talking. Interesting. Maybe not my go-to, but giving up Time Lord's a big request from me as a Celtics fan. I've watched this guy. I have a lot of faith in him. I think he could be an All-Star eventually. So personally, I'm not making this trade. I'm only trading them if it's for something really good. Like the first trade, what was it for again? We would get DeMar. I would do that. DeMar is better than Victor. Yeah.
One for Victor Oladipo. I don't love it, but
I don't
we
love it
see
either.
Oladipo get plugged into the Rockets.
I feel like this guy hasn't really loved any of these trades.
Gotta think he's got something to do with it, right?
I don't think that would work.
Give up Robert Williams.
We already have Jalen.
Pick up a guy in Oladipo who you're likely not gonna re-sign, and I mean,
Why are we not likely to re-sign these guys? Like this is Boston, man. Once you play here,
defense, he can add some
you
more
want to
scoring
play
in,
here forever.
and I think he's a winning basketball player. And if you're trying to win, why wouldn't you just pick up Victor Oladipo? Jonas Valanciunas, for the
It's
sake of
debatable.
putting a center
He would be a
on the
good
Celtics,
pickup,
here
but
it is. I
yeah,
feel
he'd be
like
good. I'd do this
Valanciunas
trade
is really the
if we had to.
only
Not
player
over
you
the
can trade
Vucevic
for
deals,
the
but
big man position.
I'd definitely
Pacers
think
are
about
looking
this
to
if
move on
it
from
came down to this. Val's a great center.
Maybe Brooke Lopez. If if you want Brook Lopez, that's probably the only other guy that you can trade for.
And to give Carson a fresh start, he's been struggling a little bit. He's starting to get it going though, but
I'd say he's mid.
Give him a fresh start in Memphis, and he can maybe live up to the potential that he showed in at Purdue.
2 second-round picks, maybe even a bit more, depending on how the
Grizzlies I'd definitely do this, actually. And that would be really good. Valanciunas is really good. I mean, I'd want Vucevic or Drummond instead, but if we can't get those guys, this is a good trade because we don't have to give up Kemba or anything. So, yeah, I'd do this.
Finally,
whoa, what is this trade?
Oh.
No. I actually, like a week ago, I was saying this trade, but after these last few games with Kemba, no.
There's no incentive for the Raptors to give up Kyle Lowry, and you're picking up a guy in Kemba Walker who doesn't particularly.
Here's the deal with that trade. Lowry is a better leader. But Kemba has more potential. Like he is. Right now, Lowry's better. He's better right now. But like. Kemba's max, like what Kemba can reach with this team is way higher than what Lowry could reach with this team. Kemba can be his old self again. I am confident if the Celtics use him right. Lowry is just more of a distributor. He can shoot though. He can be clutch when we need him. So this is a no for me unless we get more from the Raptors. It sort of makes sense, but it sort of doesn't because Lowry's also a free agent this summer. We lose him. Like, Kemba's locked in for years. 3 or 4 years, it says. That's just a no for me right now. But
particularly work well alongside Fred VanVleet. So I don't really know if they're being incentivized to make this trade happen.
I mean, if I'm the Raptors, I'm doing that. Because Lowry's leaving, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty obvious trade out there.
Kemba, I think he could get it back in Toronto, but no. But as the Celtics, no, I'm not.
Trading.
Harrison
Barnes for probably just Romeo Langford, and I know it's solid, but I feel like you can do better. And you've also got quite a bit of money locked up right there. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video.
Wait. I was zoned out for a minute. This is all it's worth? This is all it's worth? All right, I'll do this trade. If that's what the Kings want, just Romeo Langford, who's played like 6 games since he started his career, then yes. For a guy who's averaging near 20 points a game, yes. Yes. He could be Gordon Hayward, but better, honestly. I am shocked. I don't think the Kings would accept this trade. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Kings don't want a lot of talent back. Maybe the Kings believe in Romeo Langford. I don't know. Let's hear what this guy has to say.
Thanks for watching. Maybe click like, maybe click subscribe, maybe leave a comment.
Some solid trades there to think about. Definitely the last one was my favorite. I liked the Valanciunas one too. I liked the what was the first one? DeMar. I did like that one. Victor Oladipo was okay. Lonzo was okay if we trade Kemba, then yes. But that's really a lot of those trades were good. I'm not sure the last one would be enough, but if it is, definitely do that trade. I don't care if Romeo Langford becomes an all-star eventually. He won't, in my opinion, but he could. We never know. Harrison Barnes is the player for right now. We can win a championship with him right now. It'd be a good lineup. I mean, this guy's won a championship, so he can really bring that championship tenacity, that leadership to this team. All right, thanks for watching.